With the tools to decode music, you can play just about anything with strings.
Hey, this is Scott Sharp with Fretboard Toolbox, and today I want to show you how you can use a Fretboard Toolbox to figure out chord progressions in major keys. So that song I was playing right there was just messing around with a G major chord, which is a 1 chord, E minor chord, which is a 6 chord, C major, which is a 4, D major, which is a 5, and then back to G. So the cool part about knowing which chords sound cool together is that you can make up songs real easy because you know which chords are going to belong in a key, and then if you can figure out which chords that are outside the key also sound cool, then you can get that sound in any key that you want because you know exactly what you're doing. And let's take a look at the Fretboard Toolbox and see if you can see how to play some songs in major keys and see if the method makes sense to you. Let's take a look. If you take a look at a Fretboard Toolbox Ukulele C Tuning Edition and turn to page 5, you'll see it's the G major and E minor page. Then if you take a look at the chords there on where it says chord names in Roman numerals on the chord jig, and then you look at the chords G major, A minor, B minor, etc., then you'll see that each one of those chords has a bold Roman numeral to the right of it. In the key of G major is your 1 chord, A minor is your 2 chord, B minor is your 3 chord, C major is your 4 chord, D major is your 5 chord, E minor is the 6, and F sharp diminished is the 7 chord. So when you know those chords that all sound good together in the key of G major, then you go down to the chord progressions boxes where it says some G major chord progressions on the left there. Then you can see a bunch of chord progressions that sound cool together in the key of G major. And you can see you can put those chords 1 through 6, 7 is played a lot more rarely, but if you put those chords together in lots of different orders, you can get all kinds of cool sounds. So let's take a closer look and see how that works. Let's look first at a 1-5-1 progression in G major and see what that sounds like. So if we look first at the 1-5-1 progression, you'll see that's G major, D major, and G major. So on your ukulele that would look like this. That's G major, D major, G major. And notice the way that that 5 chord leads back perfectly to the 1 chord. And that's a real important chord progression to know because you hear that 1-5-1 or going from a 5 chord back to the 1 all the time in music. Let's take a look at another one here. Okay, if we look again on the chord progressions boxes at a 1-4-5 progression, this is a real common progression in music, and you'll see in the key of G major, this is G major, C major, D major. So if we look on the pentatonic jig and see how those notes would look, you'll see we have G major, C major, D major, and back to G major. So you'll see that's a real common progression and a real important one to know. Another common chord progression is a 1-5-4 progression. And if you look on the chord progressions boxes, you'll see that a 1-5-4 progression in the key of G major is G major, D major, C major, G major, D major, C major, and it sounds just like that. Another common chord progression is 1-6-4-5, and in the key of G major this would be G major, E minor, C major, and D major. And on your uke it would look like this: G major, C major, D major, G minor, E minor, C major, D major, G major. So notice that G major to E minor is a real cool move on the ukulele because you can make your G major here and then just add this one E note here on the 3rd string
and you're turning your G major into an E minor. And then you can do a C major, D major, and then back to G there. All the chord progressions in the chord progression boxes all sound good together in the key of G major, and then I'll do another video for the minor keys for E minor. But these chords all sound good together, and it's not the only way you can arrange the chords, but it starts training your ear to hear lots of common ways that those chords can be arranged. Now if you look at the key of A major, and you look at the chord jig there, you'll see the 1 through 7 chords in the key of A major. A major is your 1 chord, B minor is your 2, C sharp minor is your 3, D major is the 4 chord, E major is the 5, F sharp minor is the 6, and G sharp diminished is the 7. Let's look at some chord progressions boxes in the key of A major and see how those would sound. Okay, if we look at a 1-5-1 progression in the key of A major, you'll see that that is A major, E major, A major. A major is the 1, E major is the 5, back to A major. And that 1-5-1 again has a nice sound, and that 5 leads right back to the 1. Now if we take a look at a 1-4-5 progression in the key of A major, you'll see that's A major, D major, and E major. So we have the 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 1. So A major, D major, E major, back to A major. Another common progression in A major, and really in any key, is a 1-5-4 progression. And in the key of A major, a 1-5-4 progression is going to be A major, E major, and then back to D major. And that would sound like this. So that's just A major, E major, D major, and then back to A major. Another chord progression that sounds cool in A major is a 1-6-4-5 progression, and in the key of A major this would be A major, F sharp minor, D major, and then E major. And the cool thing about this 1-6-4-5 progression is just like on the G major, where we had adding that E note turned to G major chord into an E minor chord. On an A major chord, we just have to add this note right here, this F sharp note on the 2nd string, 2nd fret, to turn an A major into an F sharp minor. And I love that move on a ukulele because it has such a cool sound and it's such an easy move to make. So you have 1, 6, 4, 5, 1. So that's A major, F sharp minor, D major, E major, and then back to A major. So again, all those chords sound good together in the key of A major, in the chord progressions boxes there, and it shows you a bunch of different ways to put them together. And when you know the chords that sound cool together in a key, and you know a bunch of different ways to put them together, then it's real easy to make up your own stuff, and it's real easy to start hearing what it is about certain songs that gives them cool sounds, and what gives the chord progressions the neat sound that you like to hear from them. I appreciate you checking out the video today, and we'll be putting lots more out, and again, I appreciate you taking a look.